Hey everybody, welcome back to Black This Universe. This is Mike once again, your 32-year comic book industry veteran. And yes, I am drawing these in comic book style, so those of you looking for 3D models, look somewhere else. I am back doing another Intergalactic character design for the lead character, played by Tati Gabrielle. Now, you may not have seen my previous character design for this, but I didn't use Tati Gabrielle because I didn't want to insult her as an actress. I didn't want to say that she was ugly. She's not ugly. She's a beautiful young lady. And so this time, instead of creating an entirely different character, I'm using Tati Gabrielle as the character, but I'm just giving her a costume that I think would be more appealing. It's funny, some of it even kind of references her from photos I've seen of her, so I don't think it would be something she's necessarily against. But one of the things I did kind of comment in the previous video, and do check it out if you haven't seen it already, is if I was really going full-on 80s, which is the look they were going for. They're going for this 80s science fiction manga look, where they came out and said, I guess, that they were referencing Akira, and they were referencing Cowboy Bebop, and obviously Alien. And so I used those to be my key points for design this time around. Before I get into that, a lot of you guys are watching this video, but you are not subscribing. If you want to see more of this content, and you want to see more of me redesigning characters that should have never been this ugly, please hit that subscribe button and join the family here. We're screaming up to 13,000, and if you can get in there before we hit 13,000, then you get the moniker of the 13. You don't want to be one of them nasty 14s, right? Get in there, be a 13. And if it's too late by the time you watch this, then be a 14, because you don't want to be one of them nasty 15s. On with the video. So I took, here you can see I am drawing her face. I'm referencing her face as I would draw her, trying to make it look, as close to her and as feminine as she is, instead of the androgynous, weird, unattractive version of her that they created, which I say it again, she's not unattractive. So the version they created that is unattractive, they changed just a little bit here and there. They gave her eyes a little different shape. They got rid of any eyelashes she had. They even went so far as to remove the natural color of her lips so that she looked like she had corpse lips. You know how corpses sometimes I don't know, they lose all color in the lips. That's what they did to her. They purposefully, by design, made her unattractive. So anyways, I just went with her natural beauty. Took her natural beauty. I gave her big 80s hair. I call it Peg Bundy hair because, look, I lived through the 80s. In high school, all the girls had huge hair. It was like a can of Aquanet every morning. Make it as big as you can. Welcome to the 80s. And back then, for some reason, we all thought it looked great. So that's the effect I'm going for here. You want the 80s? I'm going to give you the 80s, baby. So here we are, Tati Gabrielle. Oh, you know what I should have done? There's another thing. When I'm doing these videos, oftentimes, I'm doing it. I have to do it in a single take. And then I go back, and as I'm going through and I'm editing the video, I'm like, oh, I should have done this, and I should have done that, and I should have done this. So you have to keep in mind that everything I'm doing here, it's always a first draft. The problem with the Naughty Dog character design is it's not a first draft, it's a final draft. This is the draft that went through the artist, the art director, the game designer, probably a couple other people. I used to work in video games, I know how this works. All in order to get to that agreed upon final design where you took a beautiful young actress named Tati Gabrielle and you made her look like a frumpy, androgynous, I don't know. A lot of people thought she was a dude, and that's kind of a problem when you're dealing with this. Now, okay, I saw some leaks on this game, and it's not 100% sure the leaks are legitimate, but I mean, from the sources, they seem to be pretty legitimate. And I guess the reason she shaves her head, even though you're going for this 80s kind of vibe, the reason she shaves her head is to try to conceal her identity because she's wanted. She's on a bounty list or something like that. My brain automatically goes, okay, so the best way for you to hide her identity is to remove anything that might cover her face. And I just sort of blankly stared into the distance as I thought about that. Honestly, if you're going to hide her identity, give her like really long bangs. Something that would, put her in. Oh, shoot. That's another. I forgot to put her in glasses again. I might have to do a third take. I don't know. The previous video is doing pretty well, so I thought it might be worth my time to do a second take and just kind of take into account not only the stuff I discovered here, but I mean, not the stuff I discovered in the leaks, but also a lot of the comments you guys have been leaving have been making me think, oh, yeah, maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should, And then I just kept reading. I'm reading all the comments. I'm trying to comment on every single one. If you have any comments on this, whether it's my inking, whether it's how I'm doing hair, whether it's the character itself, if you agree with me, disagree with me, please do leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts on this whole process. And if you don't like this one, tell me if you think I should do a third one. I don't want to milk this too hard, but it is fun because I grew up in the 80s, so this is kind of my wheelhouse, and I realize it's taking forever to do this hair. It really did take forever to do this hair, but it was fun. I like doing fun hair, and this whole thing, like I'd love to do like Starfire. I remember I did Starfire, an issue of Teen Titans Sins of Youth one time, and doing Starfire was like, I love doing Starfire. Well, not just because she's beautiful, but she was one of those characters when I was a kid in the 80s. It was like, who's this? she makes me feel funny. So you can tell there's a little bit of Starfire in here too, not just with the hair, but with like the design and the figure, obviously. Anyways, getting to the end here and finally wrapping up the hair and getting to the design. And my initial design, I didn't give her the jacket because I was kind of going for more of the Faye from Cowboy Bebop feel. But then I was like, you know what? I can mix the Faye and then give her sort of the jacket, not the jacket, but the high collar, puffy shoulder 80s kind of look in a jacket that Faye always wears her shirt like down around her waist for some reason, or not her waist but around her back. And the initial character does wear a jacket, so I did want to keep something that's reminiscent of her besides her face, and a jacket that's 80s inspired, but it's not necessarily exactly the Akira, quote unquote Akira. It doesn't look just like the Akira jacket. I've seen Kaneda's jacket. It doesn't look exactly like that. It might be inspired by, but hey, I can say this is inspired by it too. And then again, I have the straps from Lisa from Weird Science that go down over her. What do you call that? A halter top? I guess it's a halter top, which again, Weird Science. Kelly LeBrock. How can you go wrong? She also had the huge poofy hair. So a lot of my favorite references from the 80s going into this design. I hope they were your favorite too, but you never know. For the shoes, man, I know I'm getting the gloves right now, but yeah, so I was in the punk rock scene in the 80s. I wasn't a punker, I was a mod, but there was a lot of the collars with the studs and the gloves and the boots. And so I was kind of wanting to hit on the boots here. When I was in that scene, I always wanted to get these boots called Zero boots. They were made by Nana, and they were freaking rad, and they had these multiple straps across the top. And so with the boots here, I also did, there's only so much I can talk about the gloves, because, whatever. And yeah, so I gave her just a little bit. I didn't give her specifically Nana boots, but I gave that little bit of extra, strapping and whatnot. I just kind of threw on there, but just because I'm in an 80s kind of mood. And I gave her the really short, hot pants because of Faye. Really, yeah, the Akira, them saying that they were inspired by Akira, I mean, other than stealing scenes from Akira and the inspired jacket, I didn't really get any real other Akira feel to it. And yeah, so I had to just kind of go, kind of wing it and try to do something fun where you've got sort of a thigh high, but it covers the knees so that it's protective of the knees, but at the same time, it's not like a full boot. I don't know. I think that's sort of an interesting design. Here's the double straps on my not really zero boots. And I gave it sort of the puffy high top sort of to remind you of Air Jordans and all that stuff is kind of big back then. So I don't know. It's a little bit of a mishmash, between popular and punk rock, and I don't know. I think it works. I think it works when you pull out, you check out the whole thing. I think all the pieces do tend to work together. You know, she's got her holster there, and she's got her funky little lightsaber energy sword. Now, I did go a different direction on the design with this. I made it sort of just a big cleaver, and then you'll see it when I go into color what I do with the blade. It's I don't know, that weird, that like, I get kind of what they're doing, like a bunch of like mini lasers shooting out of the edge of this thing to create sort of, I don't know, it looks like a sound scale basically, but whatever. I don't know, it's kind of like disappointing. You see a studio like Naughty Dog, and then you put all this time, this effort and energy into something, and then your initial launch is like to de-beautify a beautiful young lady as your main character, which, if you didn't realize, like right off the bat, that you were going to turn off at least half of your possible audience, how are you guys still in business? You're in the business of making money. Yeah, I know you're a bunch of creatives. I'm a creative. You're creatives. I get it. You want to do creative stuff. But at the same time, you are responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars in development costs. And you're responsible for the livelihoods of dozens of other people. You have to have all this stuff in mind when you're creating a property so that you can maintain your business, so you can continue to make product. You want to get creative to the point where you want to veer characters away from things that your audience is going to want to play with. I don't know. Do it in a villain. Why are you doing it with your pitch material? Your teaser trailer comes out. People are turned off by it. Do you have somebody in marketing? Do you have somebody in marketing that has any clue how to sell a product to the masses? Hello? Is anybody home in marketing at Naughty Dog? Or, this would be worse. The guy in marketing doesn't get any say whatsoever. He's just dropped this turd on his lap and is told to try to go out there and sell it to people who are obviously going to hate it. You know there is a full-on free speech contingency of people who are going to tear this apart. If you don't hand them something you can get them to promote, they're going to tear it apart. And yeah, they're going to talk about it. But no, the old adage of all news is good news in terms of marketing, that doesn't work anymore. You guys are losing money hand over fist because you refuse to listen to the critics who are telling you people don't want this stuff anymore. How many video games out there are going to have to lose hundreds of millions of dollars? How many movies? How many TV shows? How long is it going to be before you guys pull back the reins of your freaking ideological self-deletion? Your companies are going to go out of business. Your people are going to lose their jobs. And you're like going to turn people off from everything. Why don't you do what Black Myth Wukong is doing? Do what Marvel Rivals is doing. Look how popular those games are because they eschew all of this social justice, cultural Marxist, war on beauty, war on hierarchy, bullcrap, and they just sit down and they make fun, beautiful games people want to play rather than criticize. The most fun people had with Concord was making videos mocking it. The most fun people have had with how many games and how many movies and TV shows is just people mocking them. That's not how you build a company. That's how you lose a company. You want to keep losing money hand over fist, game after game, movie after movie, then by all means, continue your march toward mediocrity. And we'll be here voicing our opinions and trying to create something better and more beautiful like this. Like me taking your actress, Tati Gabrielle, and making her a sexy, attractive, fun-looking character that somebody might actually want to play with in a game. That's what I hear a lot in my comment section. If this were the character, I would buy the game. Naughty Dog, you listening? You can buy this character off me for chump change and redo your whole video game. And I guarantee you, you will sell more product than you would if you stuck with that androgynous version of your actress. Anyways, this is Mike. I'm here for the culture war, right? I am here because culture is downstream from media, and I am here to make media matter. Well, maybe that's somebody already does the media matters thing. I'm here to make media that will appeal to those masses, to the normal people out there who don't hate beauty and talent, and they understand that competition breeds excellence. If you're copacetic with my point of view, do me a great favor and smash that subscribe button and smash that like button while you're at it. And hopefully I'll see you all on the next video.